Hello, my dear friend. Are you ready for another magical journey? This time, we'll travel to the land of fast thoughts, where everything happens very, very quickly. I'll tell you a story about a little bird who had to learn to wait to discover that waiting can be just as wonderful as acting. This is a story about how our mind learns to help our feet. The tale of Frankie the Sparrow and the waiting adventures. In the land of fast thoughts, where the clouds flew by very, very quickly and butterflies fluttered their wings in the blink of an eye, lived a little sparrow named Frankie. Frankie was full of energy and had round, shiny eyes. But Frankie had one small but important trait. He couldn't wait. When he saw something, he wanted it immediately. When he felt like doing something, he did it right away. His little head thought very, very quickly, and his little feet acted even faster. One morning, as the sun woke up the whole world, Frankie was sitting on a branch and saw the most beautiful red worm he had ever seen down on the grass. Without a second thought, Frankie flew down. His wings fluttered so fast that all you could hear was a soft whoosh. But the worm, hearing the whoosh, scurried away before Frankie even landed. Frankie was sad. He thought, "Why did the worm run away? I wanted to see it so badly." Just then, his mother, the wise sparrow, landed beside him. "My son," she said calmly, "I saw how you wanted to catch that worm immediately, but it heard your fast wings and got scared. Sometimes before we act, we have to stop." Frankie nodded his head. He didn't understand what stop meant. His body just wanted to act. "You see, Frankie," his mother said, "in our head there is a little button called stop. When we want to do something very quickly, we have to press it and tell ourselves, stop. Think, act." Frankie looked at his mother. His mom extended her little wing and showed him how to press his own little wing to his head and say, "Stop." Frankie tried. And now, when you press stop, you have to think about what you want to do. Think about what will happen if you do it, and find a better way. After you've thought about it, you can act. Frankie learned this rule. It was very difficult. Sometimes he would forget and do something impulsively. When his friend, a little squirrel, had the most beautiful nut, Frankie wanted to take it immediately. But he remembered the rule. Stop. Think. Act. Instead of taking the nut, he asked, "Can I see your nut? It's very pretty." And the squirrel, seeing that Frankie was polite, gave him the nut to smell. One afternoon, Frankie saw a red berry hanging high on a branch. He wanted to eat it so badly. He felt like his wings wanted to fly immediately. But then he heard his mother's voice in his head. "Stop. Think. Act." Frankie pressed his wing to his head and said softly, "Stop." Then he began to think. He thought, "If I fly there now, I might fall. And if I fall, I might get hurt. What can I do differently?" He remembered what his father, the sparrow, had told him. You can always ask for help. Frankie looked around and saw a long branch nearby. He thought he could use that to reach the berry. He took the branch in his beak and knocked the berry straight down to the ground. The berry rolled right to his paws. Frankie was very, very happy. He understood that waiting and thinking had helped him achieve his goal. It was like discovering a great secret. From then on, whenever he felt his body wanted to act too quickly, he would tell himself, "Stop! Think! Act!" He also learned how to deal with anger. When his friend, a little hedgehog, didn't want to play with him, anger appeared in his belly. Frankie felt like he wanted to hit the ground. But he remembered his new rule. "Stop," he said to himself. "Think. What can I do? I can hit a pillow or stomp my feet on the ground. Act." Frankie stomped hard on the ground, and the anger disappeared like a soap bubble. Then he walked up to the hedgehog and said, "I'm a little sad because you don't want to play with me, but that's okay. Maybe we can play later." The hedgehog looked at him in surprise. Frankie was no longer impulsive. He was patient and wise. The hedgehog felt like playing with him and said, "Yes, we'll play later, and now we'll build a big castle out of leaves." Frankie was very, very happy. He understood that patience and thinking would help him achieve anything he wanted. And controlling his fast thoughts was like having a superpower. Because each of us has a stop button in our head. Remember that there is a little magical button in your head. When you feel your body wants to act very quickly, press that button and tell yourself, "Stop, think, act." This will make you wise and strong, and you'll be able to have the most beautiful adventures because you know that waiting is also part of the fun.